Welcome to the Love Connect podcast. My name is Kanika,
My name is Vanita.
and we are back for another show. Um, we've been gone for a couple of weeks on vacation, so it seems like we've been gone forever. but we are
Yeah.
back. We are back tonight, and we have a guest with us tonight. My cousin Melissa is joining us for this show. Thank you for joining us, Melissa. If you are new to the channel, which you probably are because it's a new channel, if you don't mind subscribing and also hitting the notification bell because we do go live randomly, sometimes on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday or Friday night, so you'll be notified. But we do this show every Wednesday night at 7:30, and we would love for you to be a part of the conversations. So tonight we're going to talk about um, a word that kind of has a bad reputation, particularly when it comes to women, and that's how and why women should be selfish. Right? I wanted to do this show because pretty much all my life I've been seeing women overgive, overextend, helping people, family, friends, men, even giving to their children and not really getting a lot back. And I feel like society has convinced women that it's our lot in life to give to everybody else at the expense of ourselves. And that has to stop because self-care and looking out for yourself and doing what's best for you is really loving yourself. And I want women to know that it's okay to choose you. It's okay to choose you. Even when everybody around you, particularly men, because men like to gaslight a lot, they like to try to make you feel bad and convince you that it's your lot in life to sacrifice and give, in servitude. And it's not. It's not. Um, so I want to talk about that tonight. I remember growing up just looking around at the women all around me in my town, in my family, just all over, and just kind of noticing how they were doing everything. Like women were doing everything, taking care of the kids, working, the ones that were in relationships, holding the relationships together, just doing everything for everybody. But I rarely, with a couple of exceptions, saw that reciprocated in any way um, to women, particularly Black women. I think this is a huge Black women thing. And a lot of it comes from the fact that we don't have the backing from men or the males in our community. It's not all of them because there are some providers out there and some men who do step up, in the relationships and in the marriages. But overall, we just don't have the backing that other communities have, where the men are the ones that are leading and caring for and taking care of. So I think over generations, we've kind of taken on this um it's almost like we've feel like we gotta do it, because if we don't do it, everything will fall apart. Or if we don't help him, you know, something's gonna happen to him, or he's not gonna get a job, or he, the system gonna get him up. Whatever thoughts we have in our head about why it's our lot in life to help everybody. Um, I have found myself doing that, particularly in relationships. Black women, we are known for seeing the potential in a lot of our men and wanting to try to help bring that potential out of them. I've done it. I know a lot of my friends have done it. Family members have done it, because we do see a lot of greatness in the men that we know. We see it in them. The problem is a lot of them don't see it in themselves. And unfortunately, most of us, we at the expense of our own emotional and mental health, go round and round with them, trying to get them to see what we see. And we have to stop that. We have to start reserving our energy, our time, for our own selves. Because at the end of the day, it's not going to be no reward. It's not going to be. I've seen it all my life, the sacrifices that we have made And I've seen a lot of people turn around and give these same people that help them their ass to kiss. So I want women to know that your lot in life is not to sit around and sacrifice for the good of everybody else. That's not your lot in life. The grown people are responsible for their own well-being, for their own life. If I and Vanita and Melissa, particularly Vanita and Melissa, because they're moms. So they have a human, they've been taking care of a human for X amount of years. And they made it happen. They bought houses, they got businesses, all of these things. If they can do it, then I don't understand what the problem is, why a lot of these men can't do it. Now, I can't speak for the having children because I don't have children. I know that's another place where women give a lot, which is even more reason for women to reserve their energy because you got to give to your children. You're giving to your children, constantly. So we have to learn to reserve something for ourselves because if you don't, people will send you to an early grave. You'll be stressed out, running around, trying to help, trying to get them to see. And you'll be having high blood pressure, all type of stuff, gaining weight. That's why a lot of us are overweight. We don't take care of ourselves because we're busy taking care of everybody else. We got to learn how to put ourselves first. It's imperative because the bottom line is you only got one life to live. We don't get another go. You're not going to get another go. And then when it's all said and done, ladies, there will be no parade. There will be no trophies. None of that for your sacrifices. People don't care about that, particularly men. So you got to be really careful not to overgive and overextend yourself, particularly because you see that, oh, this could be good or he could be good, or, I know he can start a business. I just need to help him get a lawnmower or whatever the hell. No. That's not your lot in life. We got to learn to set some boundaries when it comes to giving because we are nurturers, we are mothers. It's so easy for us to just jump in and try to help and save. And a lot of this we're doing it at the detriment, of our own health. So, Vanita and I talk about this all the time, and she even talks about it with, when you have children, you have to learn to set boundaries even with your children because you don't even want your children to send you to an early grave either. Vanita, how have you been able to set boundaries when it comes to people asking you to do things and help and jump in? First of all, how did you get here? Because we and I talk about this all the time. We ain't always been like this. We
have not. I was going to say, for me, I was giving big time. I remember being frustrated at one point. My daughter may have been about a year old or so. And I don't remember the exact situation, but someone asked me to do something. And I want to say they asked me maybe at the beginning of the week. By the end of the week, I was exhausted and I was like, yo, I don't feel like doing this. But in my mindset, the way that I was raised, your word is your bond. Like you have to hold to your word. And my understanding was you were not allowed to change your mind. Like you're supposed to hold to whatever your initial thought or promise was to someone. And so I broke down one day because the situation, like I said, someone asked me to do something. By the end of the week, I was tired. I didn't feel like it. And I remember breaking down saying, I just don't feel like it. And I was just tired and frustrated. And I remember Kanika telling me, well, don't do it. It's okay to change your mind. Just simply let them know, listen, I'm not going to be able to do that. And, communicate that over to them. And that's it. And it was uncomfortable. It was an aha moment when she said it, but it was uncomfortable because I had moved in a space of always perceiving that I needed to hold to this particular word or this thing that I told someone that I was going to do. So in that moment when I called the individual and was like, I'm not going to be able to make it, I think in my mind, because if you guys have listened to our shows, I have, I wasn't raised with my mom or dad, so I have abandonment issues. And in my thought process, telling someone no or not holding to what I was saying meant they were going to leave me or, not be there no more just because I say, that's not good. I don't feel like doing it. And so like I said, it was uncomfortable. I told the individual and they were fine. Okay, I understood. How they truly felt, I'm not sure. But in that moment, I learned I have to self-preserve. And from that one situation, I just continued to build on it and realize that in order for me to be productive and a good person for my daughter, for myself, my friends, for anybody, I have to learn how to self-preserve and hold boundaries because I'm one individual and I can only do so much. So if I don't self-preserve, then how do I give out more than anything to my child? It's kind of like water in the pitcher, and you got the water in the pitcher, and then you got a cup, and then the cup is empty. You go to fill the cup up, but who's filling the pitcher back up?
Right.
So in order to fill my pitcher back up, I had to set boundaries and do things that was going to work to fill me back up, whether that was just being at peace at my house by myself, whether it was going to the movies by myself, whether it was hanging out with my friends, whatever it was for me. I had to figure out what that was to be able to fill my own pitcher back up and know that I can't expect someone else to fill my pitcher up, because how do I know that their pitcher is full? There's no way for me to know that.
Yep.
And they have to be a willing participant in filling me up if that's something that they want to do. So through all this, I've learned, and when I say who's going to fill my pitcher back up, it's more so men, because as women, we tend to run to men perceiving that they're going to fill your pitcher up, but their pitchers aren't even full.
Facts.
So you can't expect them to give you what they don't have. So I realized that and had to find other ways to self-preserve for myself to try to fill my own pitcher back up. And again, my friends have helped in that. We give a little bit of drops of water to one another that helps fill that pitcher back up as we're going. Because as women, we're underplenished too. Like Kanika just said, Melissa has kids too, so of course I can only get so much from Melissa because she's trying to get from me too. We trying to give to one another, the best way that we can. So you have to find other ways to fill your pitcher up, because a man can't necessarily always do that. Not to say they can't assist, but you can't put your have all end all in that.
Absolutely. Melissa, have you found yourself over the years over giving, over sharing? And do you see, or have you set boundaries on how much you're willing to give of yourself?
Yes, I have over the years. It's been difficult. I've been giving, had to set boundaries with my family and friends, learning how to say no on different occasions, on different events. With my daughter, not able to set that boundary yet. I'm still working on it. So it's a hard thing.
It's all a work in progress. It's all a work in progress.
It is definitely a work in progress, particularly when it comes to people you love, like your family, your siblings, I love my little brother to death. And you just want, it's hard for me to say no, to him, because I do love him so much. He's not baby brother, 10 years in the making. Yeah, but sometimes we gotta learn how to, as women, practice tough love, because always is not always the best when trying to show a person love. Because the best thing we can do for a lot, particularly people who think, perceive they need us, is to show them that you're self-sufficient. You don't really need me. You think you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
I
mean?
was going to say that as well. That's another thing. A lot of times, setting boundaries for yourself, you don't realize it helps the other individual grow and be a better them, as opposed to coddling them. You don't realize that you're actually stomping their growth when you step in every time a fire blazes up. They know how to take the fire extinguisher and blow it out too, but you have to allow them to get to that space and not just jump in every time to get rid of the flame for them.
Absolutely. Because if you think about it, and I want you ladies to think about it, just women that your family, your friends, women you've seen growing up, our own selves, we don't get a lot poured back into us. Who pours into us?
That's why I said
Besides us.
nobody does. You want to go to your friends a lot of
That's
time.
all we
Find
got.
other ways to pour into you, because even if you perceive men are, keep in mind they need a whole lot too, so they don't have a whole lot to give out.
They don't.
We have to stop running into that direction. They don't have a whole lot to give out themselves, which is why they come to you a lot of times, because besides the sex, they are looking to be replenished.
Right.
Though the women that are extremely emotional and stuff like that to them, I've seen women where men attached to that, like they long for that, because that's actually what they're looking for as well. Is that nurturing part as well.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
they can't nurture you if they looking to be nurtured too. They don't know what that is. And women tend to know what it is more because we're women. The hormones, whatever God has put in our bodies to make us click into that space
Absolutely.
is why we do it. But they don't have anything to give you as well. You have to find other avenues to get it, whether, again, it's one another as women, each one of us help each one of us as best as we can, or other avenues. Like I said, manicures, pedicures, massages, silent time, meditation, whatever it is for you.
Absolutely. Self-care
Right.
is imperative because, again, you will look up, you will have done all of these things for everybody else and be feeling some type of way because ain't nobody giving to you. Just because we do all of these things, you see this a lot with men. We do all of these things for them, help them, do this or that. And then it's expecting something in return, something as little as loyalty, No. People are loyal to themselves, as they should be. So you need to be loyal to yourself. You need to learn from men. And that's the name of this podcast. If you see how men move, men are loyal unto themselves. Men self-preserve on a level I have never. We got to learn from them, man. Men ain't sacrificing for nobody. They're just not doing it. They ain't sacrificing for nobody. They put themselves first. We got to put ourselves first too. Don't let society make you feel guilty. People even tell me I'm selfish for not having kids. You know how much I've gotten there over the years. Oh, you didn't have kids? That's selfish. Why aren't you having kids? That's selfish. I know me better than anybody. Knowing that I don't like noise. I like to sleep all day sometimes. I know all of these things about me. So I knew that wasn't conducive with having kids. So why would it would be selfish for me to bring a child into the world knowing that I'm not ready to give my whole self, to give everything I got, to this child. But yet and still people think because I didn't choose to go down that road and give, of myself to another soul in that way, that I'm selfish. No, it would be selfish for me to do it knowing that I can't be in it full time. So me saying that is you can't let people make you feel bad for choosing yourself because they choose themselves, particularly men. They choose themselves. They always have and they always will. That's why it's
And
important.
that's not a shade. That's not a down, nothing. Actually, we're looking to learn from them. That's something that's actually a great trait
It is.
that everyone should practice.
It is. And there's nothing wrong with helping. There's nothing wrong with giving because we have big hearts. I'm a giver. I have big heart. I know Melissa is for sure. Vanita is. We're givers by nature. However, there needs to be boundaries and limits to the giving.
That's it.
It has to.
And this just doesn't be, the boundaries is not just within your personal life. This is even in your work life. You have to set boundaries there too, because a job will take everything out of you if you allow them to.
That's a fact.
That's true.
That's a fact.
So we're not saying this just on some personal, we're against men or we're saying something negative. No, that trait is actually very positive and a great thing that we need to flow into our lives, our everyday lives, with everything you have going on, every aspect you have going on.
Absolutely. You have to, like Vanita said, even with work, take that vacation. They're gonna be all right.
Exactly.
They'll figure it out. Because if you leave this earth today, they'll figure it out. They gonna have no other choice but to figure it out. You gotta carve some time away for yourself. Women, go get that massage. And they're like, oh God, I ain't got none of this and that. It'll come back to you. Go get your
promise it will.
Every single time. We got to do for us, because we can't sit around and wait for somebody to do it for you. You're gonna have to do it for yourself. Or you will find yourself just deplenished of everything.
Exactly.
Everything in soul. I have watched men all my life, and I really just impressed with how they don't care what society say. They don't care what their mama say, their family, their wife, none of that. Men do what's best for them. They do what's best for them. And we as women can take a page out of their book. And I don't want people to think we're saying, don't help people and, don't just, they need you, say no and all that. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is just set boundaries for how much you're willing to extend of yourself. I've been in relationships, and I kid y'all not, that just have totally drained me. Just totally drained me of my energy. I wouldn't eat myself. I remember one day Vanita was like, well, what's going on in this relationship? Because you don't look like yourself. You don't act like yourself. None of that. And I was being completely drained in that relationship. Everything about it was draining, and got in another one, kind of the same thing. Got in another one, the same thing. Now, this is spanned over about 15 years. And when I got out of my last situation, I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't be in a situation where I'm just giving and giving and giving, and I'm getting little or nothing back. I'm holding it together. I'm keeping it together. I'm helping out. I'm working. I'm cooking. I'm doing all of this. And he's giving, but so much. I can't do this no more. I'd rather be single. I will leave this earth single before I get into another relationship that is not reciprocal. Relationships are reciprocal. It's friendships too. Friendships are reciprocal. That's a reciprocal thing.
Yes.
Friends, you be there for them. You give, and you don't get that same thing in return. It's time out for that with me too. I'm gonna pour into the women and men who are my friends that pour into me. So if you showing up for me, I'm gonna show up for you. If you're not showing up for me and you got this, that, and that's fine. People got stuff going on, but don't be mad if you call me and it ain't no response, so it ain't nothing because this ain't that. I'm not gonna let you keep using me and calling me when you need stuff, and then you miss it for 9, 10, 12 months for whatever your reason. If that's the type of relationship you want to have, that's the type of relationship we're gonna have. It's about reciprocation for me from now on. And me and Vanita and I talk about this all the time. And it's no love lost. I love you to death. I always will love you to death. But this is the type of relationship that you want. I'm giving what you give. I'm gonna be on what you on. I think everybody needs to be on what they own. Don't overextend. It's a reciprocation thing. They give it, you give. You give, they give. Don't pull this and pry and try to, no, it's time after that.
We have to
Because
self-preserve. We have to
you
practice more of self-preservation and looking at who is truly in your life to help you evolve. We all need to practice really focusing on being the best person that we can be. And in that, you have to set boundaries. There's
you
no
do.
other way for you to be able to evolve well without setting boundaries. It's imperative. And
You do.
again, like she said, it's with everybody. It's friendships, it's relationships, it's even with your family. We're talking your kids as well, because because when they come into this world, they don't know anything else but to rely on you.
Yeah.
And once they become older and wiser as they're growing their elementary school years, their middle school years, their high school years, they learn the art of manipulation.
Mm.
And they like to manipulate you in order to get their bottom line. Because kids, respectfully, kids are similar to men. They about their bottom line. They
Thanks.
come to their moms, their dads, listen, this is what I'm trying to do. Even if you tell them no, they're doing something shady to do it anyway, majority of the time, because they're really about their bottom line. And
Yeah.
kids will take if you allow them to. Family will take if you allow them to. You have to learn how to set boundaries and tell them that's not good for me right now. I can't support you in this right now. I can't do that for you right now. That doesn't work for me right now. It's okay to say that. That doesn't make you less than a bad person. None of that. You're self-preserving. We're not saying do it all the time, but be mindful and cognate of where your energy is and can you really support what someone is asking you to support them in,
Abs-
including your kids.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Also, what Vanita said earlier, in the show about saying no, the art of saying no. A lot of people are fearful of saying no, fearful of abandonment, fearful of
Yeah,
rejection,
that's
fearful of
exactly.
how the other people are going to feel. If you're afraid to say no, really dig deep into inside yourself and ask yourself, what is it that I'm afraid of?
Yes. And be
And
honest with yourself. If it is that you feel like they're going to leave and not be there, and that's really not the outcome that you're trying to get, that's understandable. Definitely with abandonment issues, that's understandable. But search yourself and ask yourself what it is.
absolutely, and why you feel that way,
Mhm.
the parents leave, no daddy, no mom. A lot
Yes.
of us have abandonment issues that stem from childhood. We have a lot of childhood trauma that spills over into our adult decision making and how we perceive the world and how we perceive people. Um,
Mhm.
if someone leaves you because you said no, because you couldn't or didn't feel like it, then you really have to ask yourself if this somebody you want in your life.
Exactly.
Because, because they should understand that you can't or don't want to, and that's okay. You have
Exactly.
a right to say no.
Hmm.
They'll tell you no. They have no
Hmm.
problem telling you no. But you got to make sure you're not doing stuff behind your fears.
Hmm.
And if you are
Yes.
doing stuff based on your fears, why that is, that's real evolution because
Hmm.
that can trigger is healing of whatever brokenness this is stemming from. There's a lot of abandonment in our community. A lot of us didn't have fathers in the home. So some people don't even know their dad, don't talk to their dad. Some people mom, which is a whole different type of abandonment, when there's a mother situation going on. You have to really, really dig deep. And, there are a lot of great spiritual teachers out there that, talk about abandonment and how to heal from abandonment, how to start the journey of healing from abandonment, because that's a deep wound. I dealt with it. I've talked about it on past shows. I probably will talk about it way into
You definitely will. Yes.
Yeah, I've had a lot, with my biological father. I didn't realize how much it was affecting my life as an adult until God showed it to me when I was 24 and showed me where a lot of my decision making was coming from and why I did some of the things that I did, or some of the thoughts that I did, is because it was stemming from fear of being abandoned, particularly for men, And it took some years for me to get past that. It took some years for me to deal with that part of me. Now I don't care about, men staying or going. I'm good either way, because I don't want nobody to be here that don't want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
You got to want to be here. I'm not going to beg you. I'm not going to manipulate you. I'm not going to bribe you. I'm not going to do any of that. I want you to be here because you want to be here.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like Vanita said, if me saying no to you sends you running, then we weren't friends in the first place, or we weren't in the first place, And this is more so towards women, because, like, again, men have mastered the art of self-preserving. It's just us women that have to learn how to not overgive so much.
I agree.
Exactly. No, being intentional, about being intentional about why we're doing some of the things that we're doing, is and knowing that it's okay. Let's back up. Even if they do leave, even if they never talk to you again, you might be a little hurt and it might be a little heartbroken, but trust me, you'll be okay.
You definitely will. And it will sting initially.
It does.
Ladies, just to let you know, it stings. It's disappointing. It's very sad. And those emotions are okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. But you will evolve past it.
Absolutely. And
in showing, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
In showing, you don't realize when you do that, you're showing the universe, you're showing God that that's not the type of individual that you want in your life.
Yeah.
You want someone that's going to be there and be understanding and fill you up like what you're really looking for. And in saying no in that moment, like I said, it shows God in the universe. So then you'll start drawing in individuals that understand where you're coming from, understand that, no, I don't have the capability of doing that.
Absolutely.
I'm not in the space of that.
Absolutely. Melissa, what happened, or how did you see that you needed to start putting boundaries and saying no? Did something happen? Was it a situation? Or did you feel like, okay, I'm getting short end of the stick here? What happened to where you saw, okay, this ain't working. All this giving. Melissa, can you hear me?
Can you hear her?
I think she
looked like she's frozen.
Yeah, I think so, because I know she did say that it was storming over there. It was storming over here. So
okay.
I think she's having some
technical issue.
Yeah, some technical difficulties. But I just want women to know that it's okay to put yourself first. You have to put yourself first. You have to, because people will send you to an early grave if you let them. And that's all really I wanted to stress with this. I think sometimes men feel like I'm hard on them, or I be shading them, or I don't like them, or I'm a man hater. I'm not a man hater. I love men. Some of my closest friends are men, but I am gonna keep it real. And men do look out for themselves. They do. I've been seeing it all my life, and of course, there are some men who, are an exception. But for the most part, men kind of live by the same template. They kind of go by the same book, and society has kind of told women that, it's your lot to be the sacrificial lamb. That's what you're supposed to do, which is why people tell me I'm selfish for not having kids. That's what you're supposed to do, Kanique. You're supposed to sacrifice yourself. You're supposed to, what they
We
tell
haven't
me.
been taught anything else, so that's what society is showing. We haven't
Exactly.
been taught anything else.
They tell me you're supposed to populate the world. You know how many times people have told me I'm supposed to help populate the world?
A ton.
Tell you how many times men have told me that it's my job to keep the race going. That's what they say. It's your job to keep the race going. No, it ain't my job to keep the race going. I don't care if y'all don't reproduce. I ain't gonna be here. Why is it my job to keep the race going? It ain't nobody's job to keep the race going. If women want to have kids, they can have them. But if they don't want to have kids and they want to be selfish and live their life for them, then ladies, do that. You don't have to have nobody's kids. Don't let society bamboozle you, because that's how a lot of women became mothers. And then they get into it and be like, what the F? Society told them that was their lot in life. It ain't nobody helping them with these kids. So let me just keep it real on that. When society tell you your lot in life is to be a mama, and that's what you supposed to do, their kids gonna be on you. Not only are the kids gonna be on you, they gonna tell you it's your fault for having them. That's a big thing in the Black community. They gonna tell you, well, why did you have it? You should have had it. Them your kids, even the daddies be saying, well, I didn't tell you to have that kid. You did it on your own. Now take care of it. So don't let them tell you when you decide not to have kids that you wrong or being selfish, because it's gonna be on you. Don't let men manipulate you. Don't let your family manipulate you. Don't let your mama manipulate you, because at the end of the day, you're gonna have to take care of them kids.
Please, grandmas are saying that, oh, I can't wait for her to be a grandma. Ask yourself, is that really what you trying to do? While she's trying to be a grandma? Because grandmas, as we all know, they tend to pick you up, love on you, and take you right back to your mama.
And that's a fact.
So
that's a fact. And
grandma, because you want to have them, not because somebody else wants you to have them or perceive that you can have them. And men that say that they want them, still ask yourself, is this what you want to do? Because they'll say that in the moment, and then when reality hits, it's a mother majigger.
Men are notorious for trying to back out of parenthood. They'll say they want it, but when that baby get here and the reality of the responsibility hits, the crying all night, the colic, the money, everything that goes into taking care of kids, the time, the teaching, that's going to be on you.
It is. And I mean, the men, because there are men out there that do it as well. They take care of the kids as well. Those that take care of them full time, ask them how they feel about it. Most of them that I know, they say they have a newfound respect for women that take care of kids. So inquire to them how they really, really, truly feel about it. Because people will say a lot of things, but when you're not the one that's taking care of the child day in and day out, personally, you can't tell me nothing if you haven't had that experience. Because you'll never really be able to understand what it is.
I'm telling you, men who have custody of their kids, they sing a whole different tune to me.
Big time.
They sing a whole different tune than men I know who don't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
They sing a whole different tune. So don't let society and men bamboozle you. Remember now, men are about their bottom line. And however they got to manipulate and gaslight to get what they want, they're going to do it. but you're going to be left holding the bag, particularly when it comes to kids. They might help financially. They might take them every other weekend, but the majority of the work is going to be on you.
Definitely.
Do what's best for you, not what's best for the race, not what's best for your family, not what's best for your relationship. What is best for you? Because none of that's guaranteed. But what's guaranteed is you're going to be stuck with the consequences of your choices. That's a guarantee, whether they're around or not. And don't feel bad for it. Because again, people are trying to get to their bottom line. And if they have to use you to get to their bottom line, they don't mind doing it. I always know that. So don't feel guilty about choosing you. Choose you. Always remember that. It's okay. Choosing me have gotten me a pretty stress-free life, to be honest. I don't have a lot of stress in my life. I just don't. Because I do what I want to do for me. I always had, even when I was a teenager. I just follow what's best for me. And you should do the same thing. It's okay. Don't let them convince you otherwise. Because men on my Facebook page right now trying to convince me that I'm wrong. Just so you know. I'm getting flooded with comments from men telling me that it's our lot to help them get on their feet. See what I'm saying? But if it was the opposite, it'll be crickets. See? Because they're used to that. They're used to that. They seen their mamas doing it. They seen their aunties doing it. Their grandmothers doing it. So in their mind, that's what we do. We sacrifice for everybody. That's why I can't pay them no mind. And you don't pay them no mind either. They program that way. So, V, you got any closing remarks? We're going to make it a shorter show tonight. We just wanted to come on and say these couple of things and call it a night. You got any closing words, Anita?
Just self-preserve.
Yeah.
Everybody, men, women, everybody. Self-preserve. Be mindful of who you bring into your energy. Be mindful what choices that you make in your life. The choices you make in your life define how your life is going to look. So be extremely mindful of the choices that you're making and the people that you bring around you.
Absolutely.
It can make or break your life. Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, you gotta live with it. We gotta live with the consequences of our choices.
Yes, you do.
You make a choice. Well, I did that for you. I did that to show you. I did that for you. Show you I love you. Oh no, it don't matter.
Not life-changing choices, ladies. Did that for you would be buying them dinner or maybe taking a trip, but not having a whole child. It shouldn't be that.
Be very mindful when you make the decision to have a child. Make sure this is what you really want to do. Because it's a lifetime commitment. Giving of yourself.
Yes, it is.
Make sure you're ready for that. Because they know I get tired. You don't never get out of mama. Mama is forever.
No. Yes, it is.
So make sure it's what you really want to do. Because when I'm on different sites, looking at different videos on YouTube, particularly when it comes to motherhood, different things on Facebook, when it comes to motherhood, I see a lot of women with a lot of regret about that decision. It'd be a lot of pain behind that decision. Well, I did it when I was young, or I didn't know no better. This and this. And the pain comes from knowing you can't take it back. Can't get out of it.
Exactly. And ladies, hold strong to what you really feel. Hold strong to it. If you say you don't want any kids and he comes in and says, man, I don't have any kids. I want some kids. Stand your ground on whatever it is you want. It's okay to change your mind if you want to. But if you truly don't want to, stand your ground on it. That's okay.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Hold to your standards, particularly when it comes to men. Remember, men are mastered. Okay, let me tell you, ladies. Men learn how to manipulate when they were young. You know why they learn how to manipulate when they were young? Because they're trying to get some pussy. So they've learned how they learned that in order to get this for a lot, they gotta lie and be sneaky. And it's not all of them, but I'm telling you where this comes from. To get what they want, to get released, to get a release.
And I will say to the men that are listening, you ain't got to lie about whether or not you want some kids. Say you don't want some kids. We probably still going to give you some pussy. It's very few women at this point that's going to say, oh, okay, well, you're not getting no pussy if we can't have kids. They're not going to say that. So just tell the truth.
You know how many times Vanita done told me? Vanita,
It's
tell
annoying.
the story when you ask me, do they want any kids at this age? What do they do?
They usually say, well, I'm open. At this point, I have 3 or 4, but I'm open. I ain't gonna say no, I don't want to. And it's like, okay. And then when they ask me and I say hell no, then they like, oh, okay, cool. We on the same page then.
See how they were trying to, because they thought they were gonna talk their way out of some ass.
Yeah, they thought that they were gonna talk their way out. And it's like, listen, guys, if you are listening, when we see you, we already know whether or not we're gonna give you ass. As soon as we see you, we know whether or not we're going to do it. So you don't have to manipulate your way in order to get it. It's not needed. It's not necessary.
You don't
y'all actually do the reverse of what you think you're doing. Y'all talk y'all way out of pussy. We see you. We know whether or not we want to do it.
Thanks.
We've already made a decision on whether or not we're going to go there with you, but you guys tend to talk your way back out of it.
Don't lie to me.
Jesus, I can't even name or number how many of them have done that to me. I'm like, yeah, you was there, and then you just put yourself totally out of the game. You just swiped yourself out of the game from running your mouth.
They gotta think they gotta manipulate you and lie. You don't have to lie to kick it. And again, they learn this
You don't.
very young. So ladies, be aware that this is just kind of in their nature because they're trying to get a release. That's usually always the goal. So just know who you're dealing with and be mindful of that. So back to what Vanita was saying earlier, make a decision for you, not for them. Because remember what their bottom line is. They're trying to come. That's what men be trying to do. They're trying to come. A lot of them ain't trying to have no family. As we can see, we can look at how the community is and see they're not trying to have no family. Some of them ain't trying to be in no relationship. A lot of them are just trying to come. So make sure you're making the decision that's best for you. Not doing it for him. Do it for you. Because if you don't, you're going to be more than likely very disappointed. Very disappointed. And again, it ain't no shade to men. Y'all were programmed that way. You're trying to get a release. I don't know what they feel like, that build up y'all be talking about, but I know y'all get it up out you. I do know that for a fact.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so be mindful of that, ladies. We're gonna go ahead and wrapping on up. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you everybody in the chat, listening on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're listening. Thank you. I always appreciate the support. Again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It's a new channel, so we're building it, and we're gonna try to be on a little bit more. Coming up, we have another vacation coming soon, so hopefully we can. I think we'll still be able to do our shows or whatever. So more likely we'll be back next Wednesday at 7:30, same place, same time.
Yes.
Love for y'all to join us. Then I was gonna say we're gonna come on this weekend, but we gotta get prepared to go again, to leave again for vacation. So we probably won't be here this weekend, but we'll definitely be in here next Wednesday at 7:30. What is this show about? Let me see. I think I can tell y'all what the show will be about next Wednesday. Let me look on the calendar. Oh. This might be a little controversial.
Okay.
we're going to talk about the oppression hustle. Okay. We're going to talk about the oppression hustle. Because our community likes to say that we under all of these constraints, and our biggest fear is you know who. Our biggest issue is you know who. And I ain't seeing that. So we're going to talk about what the real issues in the community really are. And it ain't over there. So we're going to talk about that next Wednesday, 7:30. Be here. Once again, thank you again for tuning in. Wherever you may be, and I hope you have
a good evening. Great evening.
Thank you, Melissa. I know it's storming where she was, so she had to go. She kept losing a connection. So thank you anyway for joining. Listen, my cousin, always happy to have her come in. And thank you. Facebook, YouTube. We will see you next Wednesday. Have a good rest of your week too. Bye.
Yes. Bye-bye.